Those skills are like the tip of the iceberg. If we have a life where we're feeling stressed and we're unhappy with the lives that we're living, and we have emotional shadow baggage, stuff that's happening for us in our brains, it's hard then to talk to a woman and say, hey, come and join my life. It's a shitty life, but come join it. I'm not trying to say your life is shitty, but you feel shitty about it.
How many of you watching right now have done a dating coaching program in the past? Or maybe you've invested a bunch of time watching videos like this one, giving dating coaching advice. Maybe you've read some great books. Maybe you've even signed up for some online courses. My question for you, though, is what results have you gotten? Because my guess is that some of you will have had absolutely life-changing, transformative results. But many of you won't be going as well as you had hoped, and you'll still be struggling to get what you want in your dating lives. And this phenomenon, I think, leads a lot of people to say dating coaching doesn't work. And they're right, but not always. You see, the stuff that makes dating life hard for guys is like a giant iceberg. And the dating coaching skills, things like how to approach, how to flirt, how to banter, how to sexually escalate, how to build rapport, all this kind of stuff, that's the tip of the iceberg skills. But underneath that, out of sight, below the waves, is the biggest part of the iceberg that most men don't pay attention to. It consists of things like our cultural upbringing, our hang-ups, our shames, our shadow, our views about ourselves as men, our views about women, our views about sexuality, our views about what's culturally appropriate and what's not culturally appropriate, our traumas, all this kind of stuff lives beneath the waves. Now, many of you guys may remember Aaron, who I made a series of videos about late last year. He's a 27, now 28-year-old man who I took out and gave a couple of dating coaching sessions to. And since then, it's not that Aaron hasn't been trying. He's been on a number of dates. He brought a girl back here. He even had one of my female friends really, really into him, as she kept asking me about him. And so I lined up a date for those two to go dancing together. And, well, listen to it in Aaron's words.
You haven't been avoiding dating. You've been trying to date a little bit. Been on a couple of dates. Yeah. You even brought a girl over at one point. What's happened? Like, generally, broadly speaking, what's been happening?
The same as always. It's like it's all good at the beginning, then start the ghosting, or we started talking and we plan to go out, and then just she disappeared.
And I'm willing to bet that many of you guys watching today, you can relate to this sense of how we suffer when we experience rejection after rejection after rejection. It eats at our souls as men. And people often talk about, hey, the average guy hasn't had sex in a really long time, and men are having less sex than ever, and that's a problem for men. But I think it's more about a loved problem. We are feeling lonely and we're feeling unloved. And being rejected for sex is not just being rejected for sex. For most of us guys, it feels like a rejection of connection. It feels like a rejection of love. And we suffer with this all alone.
Of course that shares. Of course that it makes you feel like bad, because you start thinking that, hey, what is wrong with me? Because once maybe it's her, like twice, but when it's more than 4 times, it's something about you, I think. But sometimes I just don't feel like that I deserve be happy,
Now, many of you, like Aaron, are suffering right now because you're not dealing with the iceberg, and it's not your fault. Nobody taught you how to do that. No one's pushing you to do that. Society is not urging men to do that. Society is urging men to shut up and stay shut up and, deal with it on their own time. But if you take a moment just to listen to any man, a man like Aaron, talk genuinely about what's going on in his life, about his stresses, about where he turns and how he deals with it, it doesn't take a genius to work out that something needs to change.
What do you do? Is there a way that you get to release that stress? Like, do you have activities that are fun that you, something that lets you vent it out?
Honestly, it's the only way that you stop thinking like that. Even in the dreams, they appear.
What about friends, family, therapist? Do you have a space where you get to say to people, I'm stressed right now, I'm struggling? Do you have that outlet at the moment? No one.
Oh, it's just me. It's just me.
So friends are one thing, but what about you've got your sister here. Call your parents. You could.
You don't want to listen that, hey, mom, I'm this way, feeling bad, because you are going to worry them, and I don't want to be like that. And that's going to make me feel like a bad son. So, it's so good. It's so good.
Do you see that as part of your job, to save other people from your stress?
It's not safe. I mean, it's not safe, but I don't want them get the worry.
So you're still protecting them from your worry?
Yeah.
For your own expense?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how it comes across in video to you guys watching, but when I'm sitting there having that conversation with Aaron, that very real and raw chat, I can feel his pain. I can feel his despair and his loneliness. And he's not alone. I feel this in so many of the guys that I talk to. And a guy like Aaron, he should be doing well. He's a good-looking guy. He goes to gym regularly. He's got a really great body. He's got an accent that girls would love. And yet, every time he goes on these dates, something falls apart. Every single time. And so Aaron is a very real example of what happens when men don't deal with the icebergs. They can seemingly offer everything and have really quite decent talking communication skills and still get nowhere. So I decided to help Aaron in exactly the way I know most men need to be helped.
I want to take you out over the next 30 days and I just want to focus on building this stuff up for you. Because I think what you're suffering with is what a lot of my guys struggle with. And they need to deal with all these aspects of their lives before they even think about women. I see it all the time, the stoicness. We just don't get to feel the pain that we feel, and we don't get to live lives that we want to live. We don't do that. We don't force it because no one teaches us self-care. But I think a lot of this it's an inner game, and we have to win that game first with ourselves before we bring someone else in.
Yeah.
You ready to do that? It's going to be hard. I think for you, it's going to be a bit confronting.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's even hard, that approach to a girl that I don't know in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
In a mall. But yeah, it's more about be more with me. And I think that I've been avoiding this.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Yeah. Afraid, but yeah.
And I want to invite you guys on this journey as well. I want you to see how Aaron's emotions change as I begin to give him a life where there's joy, as I begin to connect him with a powerful social network. I get him connected with his passions once again. He does things in his life that makes him have a life that he loves, that he wants to share with someone else. I want you to watch as Aaron attends a men's work retreat with me that I'll be running in a couple of weeks, where he's going to have his shadow and his shame and his sense of self as a man and his sexuality affirmed and supported and nurtured by 6 other really present, powerful men. And when all of that's done, I want you to see, when he starts to think about dating again, how women now treat him differently now that he's dealt with his iceberg. If you don't want to miss out on that, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm going to be doing weekly updates on that. But if you'd really like to see the full journey, I want you to follow my Instagram account, where I'm going to be posting up every single day updates on Aaron's progress. And if you'd like to see that, my Instagram is @SchoolOfAttraction. Now, I know many of you may not have even seen any of Aaron's journey yet. So if you'd like to get caught up, and I highly recommend you do before all this begins, I'm going to throw up a link up somewhere here where you can see the start of the journey with Aaron. You can learn about him, see him struggle to approach women for the first time, and really deal with some demons and push himself in a vulnerable and real way that I know will inspire a lot of guys to take action themselves. As always, guys, if you like this video, please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in my future videos.